By the 1500s, Spain had emerged as the first absolute monarchy in Europe. Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand had started this process. They imposed political and religious unity on Spain and also began the conquest of the Americas. In 1516, Ferdinand and Isabella's grandson Charles I became King of Spain and ruler of the Spanish Empire in the Americas. When his grandfather died in 1519, Charles I also became heir to the Habsburg Empire, which included the Holy Roman Empire and the Netherlands. As ruler of this vast European and American empire, Charles took the name Charles V. Historians now usually refer to him by this title. Charles was the most powerful ruler of his time, but he spent most of his reign fighting with the Protestants in Germany and against the Ottoman Empire, which was based in modern-day Turkey. The Ottomans conquered Hungary and invaded Austria in the 1520s. Although Charles defeated this invasion, the Ottomans continued to be a major threat on his eastern border. Worn down by all these conflicts, Charles finally decided to retire in 1556. When he retired, Charles divided his empire between his brother and his son. Ferdinand, Charles's brother, took control of Austria and the title of Holy Roman Emperor. Philip, Charles's son, took control of Spain, the Netherlands, and the Spanish territories in the Americas. Under Philip II, who ruled from 1556 to 1598, Spain developed one of the first absolute monarchies in Europe. Like his father, Philip saw himself as the defender of Catholicism in Europe. He would use Spain's wealth and power to pursue not only his own political goals, but also the religious interests of the Catholic Church. Philip made his base of operations the Grey Palace known as the Escorial. This imposing structure northwest of Madrid served as both a royal palace and a monastery, a symbol of the way religion and political power were combined in Spain. Philip received enormous amounts of silver and gold from his territories in the Americas. As you can see in this chart, in the last 20 years of Philip's reign, Spain imported almost 11 million pounds of silver and gold from the Americas. With this great wealth, Philip was able to build a huge army and navy for Spain. Philip attempted to use this military power to expand the Spanish Empire and fight the enemies of the Catholic Church. His foreign policy ended up being a disaster for Spain, however. Philip had one major success. This came in 1571, when he allied with several cities in Italy to attack the Muslim Ottoman Empire. Philip and his allies defeated a large Ottoman fleet at the Battle of Lepanto off the coast of Greece. This victory effectively ended Ottoman power in the Mediterranean Sea. Philip's efforts to expand Spanish and Catholic power in Europe would meet with failure. Two areas in particular posed a major challenge for Philip. The first was the Netherlands, which was under Spanish control but revolted in 1566. The second was England, which had become a Protestant nation and threatened Spanish power in northern Europe. The Netherlands had a large Protestant population and was very wealthy from trade. When Philip raised taxes and tried to suppress Protestantism in the Netherlands in the 1560s, the Dutch people revolted. Although Philip poured money and troops into the Netherlands in a long and bloody war, he was unable to crush the rebellion. In the 1570s, the northern provinces of the Netherlands declared independence and became the Dutch Republic. This was a terrible blow to Philip, since the Netherlands was one of the wealthiest parts of his empire. The war in the Netherlands also led Philip into his other great military disaster, a failed attempt to invade England. During the Dutch Revolt, Queen Elizabeth sent money and supplies to help the Protestants in the Netherlands fight the Spanish. Elizabeth also sent ships to attack Spanish trade. These ships, known as sea dogs, targeted Spanish treasure ships sailing from the Americas. This hurt Spain's economy because it depended on gold and silver imported from its American colonies. In response to these attacks against Spain, Philip tried to invade and conquer England. He also hoped to force England back into the Catholic Church. In 1588, Philip assembled a massive naval fleet known as the Spanish Armada to attack England. Unfortunately for Philip, his great armada was slow and had poor leadership. First, storms in the English Channel, and then attacks by the smaller and swifter vessels of the English navy scattered and destroyed the Spanish fleet. The defeat of the Armada was a crushing blow to Spanish power, but was seen in England as a great victory for Protestantism. Spain's great wealth did more than just support armies and build palaces. It also allowed Spanish monarchs and nobles to become patrons of the arts. The century from 1550 to 1650 is often referred to as Spain's Siglo de Oro, or Golden Century, for the brilliance of its arts and literature. Philip II was an enthusiastic patron of the arts, and also founded academies of science and mathematics. The works of two great painters during this period show the strong Catholic faith and influence of a powerful monarchy in Spain. Born in Crete, El Greco spent much of his adult life in Spain, producing work for the wealthy nobility. Diego Velázquez, who worked about 50 years after El Greco, served as the official court painter to the Spanish king Philip IV. El Greco chose brilliant and sometimes clashing colors. He also distorted the human figure to reflect spiritual suffering. These techniques were departures from the styles of the Renaissance period. These features can all be seen in the painting The Burial of the Count of Orgaz, seen here. Although unusual, El Greco's techniques vividly showed the deep Catholic faith of Spain. He painted important biblical figures, saints, and martyrs as huge, long-limbed figures that have a supernatural quality. This can be seen in his powerful religious painting, The Holy Trinity, seen here. The paintings of Velázquez, on the other hand, showed the pride and power of Spain's monarchy. He is best known for his portraits of the royal family and scenes of court life. Like El Greco, he was noted for using rich colors, though his paintings were more similar to the work of the Renaissance in their realism. Velázquez could also be very creative with his paintings. Shown here is one of his most famous works, entitled Las Meninas, in which he has constructed a scene in which the viewer is looking through the eyes of the king and queen, who can be seen reflected in the mirror in the rear of the room. Spain's Golden Century produced several outstanding writers. Lope de Vega, a peasant by birth, wrote more than 1,500 plays, including comedies and action-packed romances. He is considered the William Shakespeare of Spain because of his important contributions to the theater and literature. Miguel de Cervantes was the most important writer of Spain's Golden Age. His book Don Quixote pokes fun at medieval tales of chivalry and is considered to be Europe's first modern novel. The hero of the book, the elderly gentleman Don Quixote, has read too many tales of chivalry, and now, imagining himself to be a knight, sets out across the Spanish countryside to perform brave and honorable deeds. By the end of Philip's reign in 1598, Spain was beginning to decline. Several factors contributed to this. First was poor leadership. After Philip II, Spain suffered from a series of weak and incompetent rulers. The second factor was massive spending on the royal court and numerous wars that drained the treasury and put Spain heavily into debt. Even with wealth pouring in from the Americas, Spain's constant fighting forced the kings to borrow heavily from German and Italian bankers and to raise taxes on the Spanish people to crushing levels. During this period, Spain suffered from severe inflation, which further hurt the economy. The Spanish population was growing, creating more demand for goods, but the production of food and goods did not increase, causing prices to rise. The low supply of goods in Spain was due to guild rules and regulations, as well as inefficient methods of production. This situation was made worse by the influx of gold and silver from the Americas, which increased the supply of money and caused prices to rise as merchants responded by charging higher prices for goods. Because Spanish goods were more expensive than imported goods, Spanish people bought cheaper imported goods, which sent much of Spain's wealth to rival countries like England and France. Finally, Spain failed to develop a strong middle class. Before the 1400s, Spain was home to many Jews and Muslims, many of whom were artisans, merchants, and scholars. But in the 1490s, Jews and Muslims were expelled from Spain, and this led to a loss of knowledge, money, and skills. Nobles in Spain were exempt from taxes, so all the tax burden for wars and government spending fell on the common people. Because they paid so much in taxes, people had no money left to develop industries and businesses, and this also prevented the growth of the middle class.